Some crimes don't leave blood, they leave silence. And sometimes, silence is worse. The absence of an answer can be more terrifying than any known horror. Tonight, we're delving into a story that proves exactly that. It was a normal evening. The kind you forget almost as soon as it ends, a short walk. Just 5 minutes away from the safety of home. She told her family she'd be right back. A casual promise made without a second thought. That was the last time anyone saw her. Her hand reached for the door handle, a simple, everyday motion. The door opened, and then it closed, sealing a normal moment that would soon become the beginning of a nightmare. Back in the living room, minutes began to pass, stretching into an unsettling quiet. Then an hour went by. Her phone, which should have been buzzing with messages, stayed silent. That's when the fear started to creep in, a slow, cold dread that settled over the house. The initial annoyance at her lateness soured into genuine worry. Every tick of the clock seemed to grow louder, amplifying the emptiness in the room. Her family tried calling her phone again and again, but each call went straight to voicemail. The silence on the other end of the line was no longer just an absence of sound. It was an active, menacing presence. Soon, the quiet panic of one family spilled out into the town. The search began, first with a few frantic calls, then with the flashing lights of police cars painting the neighborhood in red and blue. The town joined in. Neighbors left their warm homes. Volunteers gathered with flashlights, and officers fanned out across every street, every alley, every dark patch of woods. They combed through familiar landscapes that now seemed strange and hostile in the dead of night. They called her name, their voices swallowed by the darkness, but the search yielded nothing. The hours dragged on, and with every fruitless sweep, the hope that had fueled them began to curdle back into that same cold fear. She had vanished as if into thin air. Then they found something on the side of a deserted road, under the weak glow of a distant streetlight, were her belongings, her purse, her keys, a book she was reading. But they were placed carefully on the ground, almost arranged. They weren't damaged, not scattered as they would be in a robbery or a violent struggle. This single, bizarre detail terrified investigators more than any sign of a fight ever could. It suggested control, precision, and a chilling lack of haste. The scene didn't scream of a chaotic, impulsive act, it whispered of a plan. Deliberate one. It was the calm before a storm no one could see. The absence of violence was, in itself, a form of violence. With no suspect and no clear motive, the town became a breeding ground for paranoia. Rumors spread like wildfire. Someone remembered a strange vehicle parked near the woods that evening. Another person swore they saw a shadow lingering near the road, someone who was there one moment and gone the next. Every unfamiliar face became a source of suspicion, every passing car a potential threat. The scariest part, the thought that kept everyone awake at night, was that the person responsible for this didn't seem to rush. They weren't frantic or sloppy. They were calm. They had moved among them, perhaps even watched the search. Blending into the very community they had violated, the monster wasn't a stranger from a faraway place. They were likely one of their own. Weeks turned into months, months turned into years. The initial flood of media attention slowed to a trickle, then stopped altogether. The missing posters, once plastered on every telephone pole and storefront window, began to fade and tear, their colors bleached by the sun, their edges curling with time. Newspapers with her face on the front page were used to wrap fish or were simply thrown away, replaced by newer, more immediate headlines. The case went cold. The official investigation stalled. Files were boxed up and detectives were reassigned, but while the case files gathered dust, the town itself never truly recovered. A low-grade fear lingered in the air, an unspoken warning that never went away. Because no one ever left. The community remained, and somewhere within it, the person responsible remained too. More than 10 years later, when the story had become a piece of local folklore, a ghost story told to scare teenagers, new evidence surfaced. A technological advance, a forgotten piece of testimony re-examined. The deathbed confession, the exact trigger remains sealed in the case file. But it pointed to someone who had lived there the entire time. It pointed to a neighbor, someone people waved at during their morning jog, someone they shared small talk with at the grocery store, someone they had trusted. The revelation sent a new, more profound shockwave through the town. The monster wasn't just hiding among them. The monster was their friend, their colleague, their neighbor. The person they thought they knew was a complete stranger. In the end, some answers never came out. Legal proceedings were complicated, evidence was circumstantial, and some truth stayed buried under the weight of time and secrets. The town was left with a scar that would never fully heal. They learned something terrifying that year, a lesson that burrowed deep into the collective psyche of the community. The most dangerous people don't always hide in the dark, lurking in the shadows. Sometimes they hide in plain sight, smiling right at you. Some truths stay buried forever, and some stories never stop whispering. Thank you for watching Dark Whispers TV. If this story sent chills down your spine, make sure to like the video and subscribe for more real-life crime, unsolved mysteries, and dark stories that refuse to stay silent. Do you think the truth will ever be fully revealed? Let us know your thoughts in the comments. This is Dark Whispers TV, where every story leaves an echo.